Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
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 And if you like cellar dwellers
And trapdoor lovers.
there's a musical for that.
And if you like mermaids, crabs, and guppies, why? There's a musical for that.
If you like fan of the opera fan fiction, there's a musical for that.
If you like falling in love and broken hearts, and establishing your dreams and then having them dashed, and duels, there's a musical for that.
And it's called Wicked.
And it's called Little Mermaid Live.
It's called Hamilton.
And it's called Dogfight.
And it's called Fan of the Opera 2, Love Never Died.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye, remember me. Don't let it make you cry, for even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart.
Welcome to There's a Musical for That, the podcast where we prove there's a musical for every situation. I'm Kayla.
I'm Tiffany.
If you like stalking, if you like that. If you like achieving your dreams in the afterlife, there's a musical for that. And it's called
Coco!
Coco! Is Coco a musical?
The one that we're
Yeah, there's
podcasting
songs
on?
in it, but is it a musical?
It's a Disney musical. Yeah.
Sorry.
Isn't it?
There's some songs.
Do the songs progress the show, or are they just musical numbers and then...
I think they're just musical numbers.
Oh, well, okay. We're still gonna say it's a musical.
Yeah, if La La Land got covered on this show, Coco can too, because
La La Land was a mini-sode though, right?
No, we talked about that thing for like an hour.
That's awful.
That's
Probably
a bad
'cause it was
movie.
that bad.
As long as the further I get away from it, the more I'm very upset by it.
Oh, I don't have any feelings about it.
It just angers me more because nobody's even talking about it anymore. And if it was such a big cultural phenomenon, don't you think people would still be talking about it a year later?
Marketing.
Ugh, La La Land. Anywho,
I appreciated the theater that we saw it in though. We're
Yes.
off topic though, but that was a very nice thing. We should go back there.
yeah, sure. We have another party coming up.
Oh yeah.
It's almost exactly a year since we saw La La Land because we went to that party.
So Coco is the latest Disney movie.
It's Disney Pixar.
Disney Pixar, yeah.
Yes, it is about Dia de los Muertos
Sí.
and a little boy named Miguel and his family in Mexico
See?
around Dia de los Muertos. What was Miguel's last name? Do you know? Well, while Tiffany looks that up, I will start with the plot. So, Coco, the story of Coco is this family, essentially, there was a, oh my gosh, this is going to be complicated. So, Miguel's family is a multi-generational family that all lives together, and they run a shoe shop, and the shoe shop started because several generations back, Miguel's great, I believe, grandmother had a husband who was a musician and a daughter, Coco, who is Miguel's grandmother.
I think just great.
Well, if Coco is his grandmother, Coco is his great-great-grandmother.
Coco is just his great-grandmother.
Oh, yes, you're right. So Coco's mother married a musician and had her daughter Coco, and the musician went off to practice music and never came back. So Miguel's, whoever she is, great. Coco's mother is the great.
Yes.
Okay, Miguel's great abuela. Excuse me. She was very upset. She developed a hate for music at that point and had to, as a now single mother, she had to pick herself up and provide for her child, so she learned how to make shoes and started the shoe business and banned all music in her family, and that tradition of banning music and making shoes was passed down generations, and we get down to Miguel, who is a little boy who wants to be a musician and idolizes
Ernesto de la Cruz.
Oh, good job. Ernesto de la Cruz, who was a musician in his city. They keep saying he's the most famous musician in the world, but I never heard of him. And he idolizes Ernesto de la Cruz and wants to be like him, and he wants to play music. So during the Dia de los Muertos celebration in the town square, they're going to have a talent show, and Miguel wants to perform in the talent show. He's been practicing secretly on an old broken guitar, and he wants to perform. Am I going too fast through the plot? Okay. Well, his family ends up finding out, and his grandmother, his grandmother gets upset and breaks his guitar. And
Very
Miguel,
rude.
she like had an outburst, and then she's like, "See, everything's fine now," which
That was rude. Even like the look on his dad's face was like, "Don't
Too
do
far.
that." Yeah.
But some parents are like that, where they're like, "Okay, see, now everything's fine. Come give me a hug," because she does like, "Come give me a hug now," and he's like, "I hate this family.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in it," and he runs off, and he goes to Ernesto de la Cruz's mausoleum
Yeah.
area, and he sees the guitar, and he wants to play his
Ernesto
guitar.
de la Cruz's
Yes.
guitar.
And he wants to use it because he tries first to ask other people, and nobody will let him borrow their guitar because they're all mean. And so he goes and breaks in, and he picks up the guitar, and as soon as he strums it, he closes his eyes and he strums it, and you see all the flower petals.
And he thinks that's
doesn't-
his great grandfather at this point.
When
Because
does he think that? When does he find that out? Because of the picture?
When he was with Mama Coco, they broke the picture and he opened it up and he saw the guitar.
That's right, and it was Ernesto de la Cruz's famous guitar. Right, so he thinks that is his great-great-grandfather.
Yes.
Yes, so he strums the guitar, and people come in, people look through the window of the mausoleum and see that the guitar is missing, and they come in, and Miguel's like, "Hey, no," and they run through him, and he realizes, "Hey, I'm, like, transparent."
Yes. He's between worlds. He's not dead, but he is in the afterlife.
He's in the spirit realm.
Yes. And his last name is Rivera.
Rivera.
It took me a while to find that. Apparently they don't care about their last names.
Well, it's not really important, actually. So, Tiffany, you have a minor in Spanish from an accredited college and or university. Accredited four-year university. Do you want to do this episode bilingual?
Nope.
Okay. There's that.
Nope. That was in Spanish.
No.
No.
Yes. See.
You have to really...
No.
Yeah. that's
See? I took some Espanol in my time also. Anywho, so Miguel runs out of the mausoleum and he sees, do you know what those flowers are? Because the petals seemed very important to the ritual of Dia de los Muertos. Your Spanish education was more grounded in Spain, so I can understand why they did not touch on Dia de los Muertos, because that's a Mexican tradition.
Yeah, we didn't... Spain and South America, but we didn't touch on Mexico.
That's sad because that touches America, and Spain is like over in Europe being...
My Spanish teachers were from Spain, Argentina, and Russia.
That makes sense then. Well, in high school, my Spanish teacher... Do we have the same one?
Oh,
First
my
senior
high
year
school Spanish teachers
was a white American.
We're all Americans, yeah.
So they didn't know what was going on. Yes, so he follows the flower petals out and he sees someone. He's like, "Hey, can you help me?" And the person turns around and they have a bone face, like you see on the sugar skulls of Dia de los Muertos, and he screams and they scream. Oh, are they chrysanthemums? I'm assuming they're chrysanthemums because chrysanthemums are orange, naranja.
See?
So he sees this person with the sugar skull face, and he screams, they scream, everybody's screaming.
It's us. Oh no. Well, that's.
And then
family.
and then somebody goes, "Miguel," and he's like, "Oh!" And he knows all their names because they are family oriented and care about their family. I don't, because it's not my family.
And also, all of their pictures were on their.
Tributary or whatever.
Yep. The thing.
Tributary is the thing that water comes out.
Their
Altar.
And it wasn't an altar though. What did they call it?
This is waiting music.
I'm taking the long way around to get to this answer. I'm hoping Wikipedia has a lot of these.
Oh Lord, I'll just keep going. So he sees whoever it is and he recognizes them because they kind of look the same in their bone form as they did in their live form. Do you need the Wi-Fi password, ma'am?
No, it should be using my data. There we go.
Do you know where you are? This is a dead zone. So that he recognizes them. He's like, oh,
Ofrenda.
Ofrenda. Yeah. What is that, like an offering table?
Yep.
What is, okay. Hey Siri. What does ofrenda mean in English? You can't even understand what I'm saying. Gosh. Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
I hate you. Siri is the worst. Okay, Google was much better. Ofrenda means offering, which I assumed it was some sort of cognate. So on the ofrenda is where they put their offerings to their relatives who are passed on. That's a nice way to say that. So he recognizes them, and they're like, oh, Miguel, huh?
I said muerto.
Muy muerto.
I know Spanish.
Vaya con Dios. R.I.P.
Hace muchos años
No, you don't.
estudié español.
Hace muchos años means I have many years. You don't
I think
have many
it's
years.
There's been many years.
Hace is... Oh, hacer is to be? Not to have. Correct? Hacer. Because hacer is the first one you learn, right?
There have been, yes, I think.
Hacer is to do. I think you meant like tocar, like I have taken.
I don't know what I meant. I don't speak Spanish, okay?
Tocamos.
So what is hace? So
Hace
hace que? There's a
know
there's a
that.
phrase where if you link it with hace, it means something. So like if it's like hace que 2 años, it has been 2 years since.
Oh, that makes
So I
sense.
just incorrectly used the phrase, I think, or I made that entire thing up. Take a real Spanish class or Google it.
I think when you're talking about your age, it's...
Oh, it's your age, tango.
Yeah, I thought you were saying...
No, I was trying to say it has been many years since I studied Spanish.
Muchos años, okay.
Yes.
To be is ser.
Or a star.
That's right, ser or star. Yay.
I remember that.
Muy
That was
bien.
from my freshman Spanish. I didn't have to pay any
Hace
money for that
calor.
tuition.
Do you know that song from Sesame Street? Hace calor. Mucho calor. Do you know that?
Nope.
About how it's hot outside in New York City?
Nope. So his family is freaking out because he's all transparent and
His ghost family.
yes, his ghost family. So they take him
Across the spirit
to
bridge.
what did they call her? Mama Coco's mom?
I don't remember.
Great Mama.
She had a name.
Great-grandmother.
They called her Mama whatever. They take him across the spirit bridge into the spirit world because she can't get over for some reason, and it's because Miguel and his
They were
accidentally...
marigolds.
Oh, okay. Miguel knocked her photo off of the ofrenda, and if your photo is not on the ofrenda, you cannot cross the bridge on Dia de los Muertos. So they have to go back and get her, and they bring Miguel with them. What was her name? Mucho calor.
Imelda.
Yes, Mama Imelda. Who was the Mama Coco's mother who banned all the music and started slapping them shoes
shoemaking,
together. So they go back across.
Zapatos. Is that shoes?
Zapatos.
Yay!
Remember that restaurant Zapatas? What's up with that? They
Oh,
closed now.
gross.
They closed now.
Well, because
but
they
there's
named
not.
their restaurant after a shoe.
But there's no female version of shoe.
Then what is Zapatas?
That I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know what's up with that.
Mhm.
So what happens when they get to the office, Tiffany? Oh, they see the guy trying to get across.
Yeah,
He
so
doesn't have a
there's
picture.
a guy dressed as Frida Kahlo trying to get across because her picture's everywhere. And
Is he dressed as Frida at that point? I thought he was dressed as somebody with like... Oh, maybe he was.
I thought
Yes,
was
he
dressed as
was.
Frida.
You're right.
And so they do the scan, and they know that it's not him, and his photo isn't anywhere. So they put him back, and he's really like a bum guy in the dead world because his photo has never been up, and he's just trying to get out on Dia de los Muertos.
He just wants to get to the other side.
Yes.
Sad.
Yes. And he ends up finding out that Miguel is able to cross back, so he wants to give him his photo to take him back so he can put his photo up so he can cross over into the land of the living, and really his only goal is to have Miguel take his photo and put it up. And Miguel wants to find Ernesto de la Cruz so he can get Ernesto de la Cruz's blessing so that he can play music, because he's not allowed to play music without his family's blessing, and nobody in his family will give their blessing because Mama Imelda won't, and nobody else will give the blessing that Mama Imelda won't give. So he's trying to find Ernesto to give the blessing so he can go back and be alive, because without the blessing he either can't play music or he can't go back. So Hector is like, oh, I'll help you, but he doesn't really care about helping him, and they end up getting to Hector and finding out that he's mean. I skipped a lot. What did I skip in between there?
They found out Ernesto wasn't even...
Or sorry, Ernesto de la Cruz. Hector. That's
You're saying it right.
H's.
I can't.
Yes.
I'm trying to
Hector.
imitate you
Oh.
as a form of flattery.
Thanks.
Hector.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
You are.
A very American accent. So sorry.
That's what you have.
Lo siento.
We don't make Arnold Schwarzenegger demand that he speaks in a regular accent. He got to be a governor.
Yeah, but I could have some sort of training so that it's like less thick of an accent.
You speak English as a first language. There's no shame in that.
Well, yeah, but I also want to do justice to the language itself and make it understandable, and not like it's such a thick accent to where it's not...
You sound like a bumpkin.
Yes, I want it to be intelligible in the language that I'm trying to speak, and I'm not sure that it actually is.
In my last class, there is a girl
I'm speaking Spanglish, so it works out.
Yes, there is a girl who was from France and learned English after she came to America. And she had a very thick French accent, but I could still understand what she was saying, and it did not bother me one bit because I was like, she's French. That's what French people sound like when they speak English.
And
if you're a
fair.
Spanish-speaking person and you want to be you want to be mad about people not having the right accent, I
don't
feel
think
like
that
that's
people
judgmental.
are upset about it, but I want them to know that I'm not trying to butcher their language.
Yes.
I don't think I'm above trying to...
No, I think you're saying the words correctly, but at a certain point you cannot help an accent unless you go to a dialect coach. And I don't think you should feel bad about having an accent.
Well, I don't feel bad about it, but
Good.
I want to be better.
You know, we all want to be good at things.
I want to be good at everything.
Me too, but I don't want to try. Maybe I should get in some sort of Groundhog's Day scenario where I have like so many days to just slowly practice.
Huh.
Yeah,
That'd be
I just gotta find a
convenient. One thing that before they found Ernesto de la Cruz, Hector, since he doesn't have a family, he lives in like a bum world, and he goes to see this old guy who's like fading away and dying. Because nobody had his picture up either. So if you go years and years and years and nobody puts your picture up, and then the last person who remembers you once they die,
Or they stop remembering you.
or they stop remembering you and nobody on earth remembers you anymore,
You're gone.
then you're completely gone. So we know that that's what's
That's the
happening
stakes.
to Hector right now as well.
Yes, that's what gives the movie stakes of
Yes.
like we have to do. And they told Miguel that he would turn into a full bone boy
Yes.
by sunrise. So
Yes.
there's two stakes here for why we need to get in and get out.
Yes. And then they do a couple, and you know that Hector has a musical past, but he doesn't want to play anymore.
Well, and he said like, "Oh, I know Ernesto de la Cruz. I played with him." And I thought it was a lie at first, like he's just saying that, but it turned out to be true.
Yes, he did play with him. So they go into some music competition because Ernesto has this big party every Dia de los Muertos, and the winner of the talent competition gets to perform in the party. So that's their way into the party to meet Ernesto. So Miguel competes in Hector gets nervous, so he goes up on stage with him, and then they're singing together. Doesn't he go up on Yeah, they both
Hector did not get nervous. Miguel got nervous.
That's what I meant to say. I'm confusing.
There's a blanket behind you, by the way, on that chair.
Oh, thank you.
You're laying on it. I try to keep my guests comfortable. I have an electric blanket that I'm sitting on top of also. Would you like it?
No, thank you. This is good. There's 2 blankets? No, it's 1 blanket.
Do you need help?
Nope, I'm just too lazy to lean forward. I'm just
Do you want one of those?
I'm good.
Okay.
This is like, have you seen this big animal? Right, which I don't believe in marine animals, but like where it's just one.
Oh, yes. I thought it was some new thing that kids were getting, like a new Snuggie or something.
No, it's an old thing.
Those things. What is it called? A shrug or something?
Sure.
Where you kill an animal and sling it over your shoulder.
Yes, that.
Like Ace Ventura did to that man in Ace Ventura Pet Detective. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Knocked him over the head. Like that. Anywho.
So they win the competition.
No, they didn't. He came in second. The family band won, remember?
I think they were gonna win, and then they disappeared.
Well, I mean,
they had to run away because
I think the family band should have won, and they did win.
Oh, well, they were fine. They won.
So, Miguel's family is looking for him, and he had previously told Hector that he didn't have any family. Yep. He's fine. They needed some sort of conflict in this film, and this is what they came up with.
Yes.
And the family is looking for Miguel, and they put over the loudspeaker, like, we're looking for a little boy named Miguel. He's wearing a red sweatshirt, blah, blah, blah. And Hector's like, you told me you didn't have any family. Which I don't know why it even matters to you, Hector.
Because all he wants is for the little boy to go home so he can take his picture and put it on their ofrenda. So he's like, we're wasting all this time because you're looking for someone and you don't need them.
Because he's like, you can just go home with these people.
Yeah.
That's okay. Makes more sense. So that's when they get upset at each other and turn apart, and Miguel has this little
well, Hector then feels bad that Miguel ran off because he still needs him, so he's like, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, and Miguel runs off.
And he has this little what is it called? It's a specific kind of Mexican dog. Those the ones that always win the ugliest dog in the world competition is what Miguel has, that type of dog. They always win those competitions. It's very sad. And the dog is...
Are they bred to look there? I guess so, obviously.
At some point they were.
Yeah.
Somebody did it. Who did it and what for? I don't know. But the dog is trying to get him to go back to Hector, and I think, at some point, like, Mommy Imelda or somebody said, like, oh, it's a spirit dog, or whatever they call the spirit animals. And he's like, no, it's just a regular dog. But the dog was trying to get him to go back, and he wouldn't, and he runs away, and Mama Imelda finds him. And Miguel basically says, you'll never understand me, and she starts singing to him.
Is that when it happened? No, that happens later on. So, because that happens, doesn't it, after he meets Ernesto?
I don't think so. I think it's when he's running to try and get to the party. Because him and Hector are now split, and I thought that's when he was by himself and his family saw him, and so she starts chasing him. And then he climbs to that door. This is when I think it happens. And that's when she sings. And then he runs off and she's like, my giant spirit animal, find him. And then, so he gets to the front of the party and he's like, oh, I'm Ernesto de la Cruz's grandson or something. And the doorman throws him out. And then he sees the people who did win the competition. And they were like, hey, good job earlier. And he said, hey, can you do me a favor? And they throw him in their tuba.
And then Hector sneaks in, dressing up once again as Frida Kahlo.
Did we talk about when Miguel met Frida earlier?
No, we did not.
Miguel met Frida earlier, and she was being her eccentric self.
She was weird.
With her avocado.
And she had people crawling in and out of an avocado.
And then she wanted to light them on fire. And she liked Miguel. She thought he was visionary.
Yep.
So that's just a setup for
music.
Mm-hmm. So it just kind of sets up that he met Frida and they know each other now or something.
So then they go into the party and Miguel starts playing because he gets into the party and can't get to Ernesto, so then he starts playing.
He climbs up high.
Yes, and singing and playing and...
What's the song? It's his, like, big
Remember
hit.
Me?
I don't know how it goes.
Was it that one or was it a different one that he started singing?
I think it is, but I was about to start singing Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera, but Remember Me, so... Let's look it up.
And then Ernesto sees him, and everybody's wowed, and Ernesto's like, oh, you did such a great job. And that's when Miguel tells him that Ernesto is his
great-great-grandfather.
Grandfather, yes. And Ernesto's like, what? I have a grandson? This is amazing. And
they love each other.
yes, and he puts him on his shoulders and blah-de-blah. And then at some point, Hector comes back, and it's revealed that Ernesto de la Cruz and Hector used to actually sing together and be partners, and Hector actually wrote the music, and without him, Ernesto de la Cruz didn't have any talent or anything to do, so Hector wanted to go home to his family that he left behind, and Hector didn't want him to, so he killed him.
Ernesto didn't want him to.
Yes.
Yes, he poisoned him.
Yes.
And this was actually the plot of one of Ernesto's big movies. Mm-hmm. And I think the movie was playing behind them at the time or something. And Miguel mentions, like, oh, remember in your movie, blah, 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 when the villain poisoned the guy? And Hector sees it on the big screen, and he comes to the realization that Ernesto did indeed poison him.
Yep.
And was the reason he could not get back home to his family. Mm-hmm. And I guess just through his body somewhere.
Yeah, in some weird dungeon cave or whatever.
Well, I mean in real life.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he did with his body left in the street.
Maybe. And then, because Miguel knew the truth now as well, Ernesto couldn't let anyone else find out, so he threw Miguel in the dungeon place.
And took the Hector's picture.
Yes.
From Miguel, so he couldn't put it on the ofrenda even if he did escape.
Yes. So then they were both trapped, but when they were down there, is that when they found out that Hector was actually Miguel's great-great-grandfather,
yes.
And the person he's trying to go back to see is Mama Coco, who is his daughter.
Yes, because he mentioned, like, I just wanted to see my daughter one last time, my little Coco or something. Yes. And Miguel's like, what? And then they realize that they're family.
Yeah.
And Miguel, I think, do they sing a song together?
Maybe.
They say something about how I'm happy that you're my family. Like, I'm happy that it's you.
And the reason it's so important, so back to you disappear the second the last person on Earth either forgets you or dies, so then nobody else remembers you. So Mama Coco is really old now and she's forgetting him. So when she dies, Hector will disappear from the land of the dead.
When she dies, or when, I guess, her Alzheimer's or whatever fully removes her father from her mind.
So they will never see each other in the afterlife, because once Mama Coco's dead, then nobody else on Earth has memory of...
Then Hector will be double dead.
Yes. So that's why he wants to get back to see her one last time.
Yeah. And then we see the little dog again, and it brings Mama Imelda's... thing. There's a word for the spirit animal thing. I don't know what it is. Lo siento, mis amigos. And it rescues them, and Mama Imelda sees Hector again, and she's like very pissed. She's angry, like, you abandoned me and our child, and...
Alebrije? Alebrije?
That sounds familiar to what they said. That is a lot of text. I can't pick out what word it is.
The blue one in the middle.
Oh. Alebrije. See? Alebrije. So, they kind of come to terms that I think Miguel tells Mama Imelda that, hey, it wasn't his fault. Ernesto poisoned him, and they say something about family. It's like Lilo and Stitch. They say something about, like, Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And so Mama Imelda is like, you're right, he should at least be on the ofrenda. Like, that's fair to him. Because how dare she just erase him?
Right.
Whatever. Anyway, so they go
Especially after she found out the truth. Like, I understand being mad that your husband left you, but then she was really prickly even when she saw him in the afterlife and knew what was happening, and that he was about to be double dead.
She should have turned around a little quicker, but she seemed like a very stubborn woman, which is probably the reason she was able to survive as this single woman in, I don't know what year it was, Mexico, by herself, and was able to start up this business because of her strong bullheadedness, which I'm sure is a blessing and a curse, as many things are. So they go to Ernesto's concert.
Yes.
Whoa! She jumped. The Barbie doll just jumped off of that shelf.
She didn't.
I watched it.
She fell.
She leapt. Anywho,
Is that why your room is so cold? Is
this whole house is haunted.
cold rooms follow me wherever I go? I think it's me.
You can have this electric blanket. I have an electric mattress pad
It'll
underneath
just the cold will just follow me.
here. Oh, whatever. Well, you sound like Lydia from Beetlejuice. I myself am strange and unusual. I go to Hot Topic. Anyway, so they never mind. They go to the concert and they're trying to get the picture back, and Mama Imelda sings because she accidentally gets
And they
sent
sneak
up in
in
the thing.
through Frida's avocado.
Yeah, her avocado, her creepy avocado. And Mama Imelda, much like in a very goofy movie. Yes, this isn't the first one. This is in the second one. First one. In one of the Goofy movies where they're going to the Powerline concert and Goofy, they sneak on stage, is similar to this. And Goofy accidentally stands on the thing that starts getting lifted up. This is what happens to Mama Imelda. And so she has to start singing. And she does a great job. I wonder who does her voice. I won't ask Siri because Siri's a dumb beep. This is a child-friendly show. So...
Is it? Oh,
I don't know. No reason to start being explicit now, I assume. So they sing and dance, and they finally get the photo, and then they go backstage, and Ernesto de la Cruz, like, punts Miguel off the roof. Does he kick him, or does he throw him?
I think he throws him.
He uses a lot of force, whatever he does, and that little sucker goes flying off of that roof. And some of the TOs and TIAs who are there turn the camera on.
Yep.
And it's broadcasting to the main stage. And they see him, like, throw or kick, whatever he does. He gets Miguel off that roof. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And confesses to the murder.
And he's like, I did it, and I'll do it again.
Yes.
It wasn't for you rascally rabbits. If it weren't for you meddling kids, that's what it is. From Scooby-Doo. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So then what was it called? Alebrije? Alebrije, see.
Alebrije?
Mama Imelda's Alebrije, the giant winged lion sphinx thing, catches Miguel, of course, as I knew it would. And they all come back together, and they take forever giving the blessing so Miguel can go home.
Yep.
And doesn't Ernesto... Yeah, Ernesto does something to stop it, and then he goes back on the main stage, and he's like all smiles, not realizing.
But everybody knows.
You know.
Yep.
And then some kind of way they do the blessing really quick, and Hector is like, oh, Miguel.
Yes, he's fading because Mama Coco's forgetting him.
You will, and have always been my friend, or whatever Spock says at the end of Star Trek 2. That's what I was trying to say. That's a hand thing he does. It's a Vulcan salute. But he says at the end of Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, Spock gets like, what was that, like nuclear poisoning or something? And he is like, Jim, you are and have always been my friend. And he dies. Aww. And then he later comes back to life in Star Trek 3, regardless. Hector says something similar to that.
I don't think he died in the movie the first go round.
In Star Trek 2?
Yeah.
Spock died, and they shipped his body in his coffin into space. What happened to him?
I'm not sure that happened.
You're gonna make me have a connection fit. Okay, so in Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, the whole point of the movie was Khan was trying to get the thing to create life on other planets. He was trying to get the thing, and in the beginning of the movie, I can't think of what it's called, like the Eden, whatever. They put it on this barren planet, and they think it's like not really working, but it turns out... Okay, but it turned out it was working. And that's the planet Spock's body ended up on. So in Star Trek 3, the stuff that brings things back to life brought Spock back to life.
Oh.
And he wakes up.
That makes sense.
What are you you talking about? He dies at the end of Wrath of Khan. Are you joking? Are you trying to kill me?
I just remember liking the movie, and I don't like it when people die at the end of movies and stay dead.
Well, because
So
you probably knew because I'm sure you didn't watch Star Trek 2 when it came out in 1975 or whatever it came out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about all the recent movies, and I was like, Spock didn't die in any
Those
of
are Star Trek 9 and 10.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh.
In my mind, they're 1, 2, and 3. But
There's a
altogether-
third one?
I think so.
I didn't watch it, whatever it was. So this new Star Trek 2 was a rehash of Wrath of Khan, and in that they switched it so that
The new
Kirk was
Star Trek what?
Wrath of Khan.
The new Star Trek what?
Into Darkness is what it's called.
The new Star Trek 2?
Yes. The new people Star Trek 2. Yes.
Star
but
Trek 2.
I was saying Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan, which
I don't know their taglines.
The new Star Trek 2 is Into Darkness. Anyway, they switched it.
Yes, we cleared it all.
Where Jim was inside and Spock was outside.
That's what I remember.
In the original, it was the opposite. So they
Aw.
thought they were being clever by switching it.
I enjoyed it.
You really, my heart almost exploded. my family's very Star Trek oriented.
We're more Star Warsy.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fine. I just didn't grow up with it.
Yeah, same.
You know.
Same.
But I know Spock dies at the end of Star Trek 2 at the con. He comes back alive in Star Trek 3.
But
that's all I
in
got to
the
say.
new Star Trek 2,
Yes,
he
that's
does not
perfectly
die.
fine. And Star Trek 4 is the one with the whales.
Okay.
It's a big one. People like the whales. The 80s are a big time for whales. Anywho, so Thor dies like Spock in the Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan, not Star Trek
didn't
Into
die.
Darkness.
He's just fading.
He was acting like he was gonna die.
But he
And
didn't.
Miguel comes back and he runs home and
Yes.
he's like
He's gotta get to Mama Coco and play her a song.
and he hugs his papa. He's crying and he sees Mama Coco and he's like, Mama Coco, Mama Coco.
And he sees the grandmother and he's like, oh, so I can.
She's rude.
Yeah, she's still rude. So he runs away and locks himself in with Mama Coco and starts playing her a song.
He finally
And his
does. Well, that's after the family gets in the door. He starts playing the song because the grandma wants to snatch the guitar away again.
Well, he starts, yeah. So he's about to start playing the song, and the grandma's like, what are you doing to that poor woman? And so they break in, and he starts playing the Remember Me song, and Mama Coco starts singing along.
And she does remember her papa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do a flash forward, and the mom is no longer pregnant. And
No,
Mama
she
Coco,
had a baby.
She had two. She had twins.
Oh.
Mama Coco has gone with God, as they say. She via con Diosed right the heck out of there.
Yep.
And you see her with her papa and her mama, and she's like, Papa! Oh, it made me cry.
The part where I didn't cry because I was angry at that point because I wasn't sure who was gonna make it. I wasn't sure if Hector was gonna make it, and I was like, this is some bull if
Well, I
I
knew
watch this entire movie and Mama Coco isn't gonna see her papa again. But it turned out okay because it's Disney, and I should have known better.
You
but
should have.
It was just very dramatic, and I was a little worried, so I was angry. So I didn't cry. But the moment where I almost cried is when he was singing "Remember Me" to Mama Coco, and I was like, ah!
I cried. I was weeping.
I know.
It's okay to have feelings.
It is okay. I wish I had some.
You do have a lot. You're a very kind person.
Oh, thank you.
You just don't let them flow as freely.
It's good to be free flowing. You shouldn't keep yourself
It
closed
just
off.
depends, you know. And I'm one of the least emotional in my family, as I've told you, and that is just amazing.
I'm one of the most emotional in my. I feel like we've had this conversation.
We have,
many
but the
times.
people don't know, though.
Okay, good.
This
I
about
wasn't sure
us.
if we had the conversation.
You and I know
for them
this.
To hear. Yes.
Remember me, boo-boo. That's not the song.
But yes, they have their.
This is somebody else,
It sure
obviously,
is.
but it's not Little Boy. I don't like his singing.
So
For me. Oh, he's crying. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh. I have to turn it off. I'm crying.
Oh my goodness.
It makes me so sad.
Oh.
You know, something funny, my nephew Aiden, I'm sorry, is very emotional too. And my sister Amber, who is his mom, is not very emotional. And my nephew Aiden said something to me about somebody passing away who I didn't know who the person was. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he like started crying. And I mentioned it to my sister. And my sister was like, nobody has, like, that person passed away like years ago. Aiden doesn't even know who that person is. And I was like, I felt so bad for him. She was like, no, like, don't worry about it. He's talking about like his great grandfather. Like, don't worry about it. Anyway, just reminded me, my ears are really hot now. I can't listen to a child cry. Are you gonna cry now?
No.
Should I keep playing it so you cry?
Not at all. I've actually remembered something that amused me greatly, but revealed that I was maybe not the nicest person.
Let's hear it.
So I recently went to Tennessee to see some family members, and my
Oh.
mom was talking to my Aunt Gwen, and then someone came up who, I don't know if it was a family friend or... And I'm not even sure if I remember the name correctly. I'm going to say Dickie. That sounds right. But I actually...
What a name.
It's a nickname for Richard.
Richard. Yeah, I know a Dickie.
So, and my Aunt Gwen was mentioned like, oh, like saying something, but then turns out Dickie had died, and my mom was like, what? I didn't know that. And my Aunt Gwen was like, oh, I didn't tell you that. And there was a more look on her face. Then she just goes, yeah, Dickie died.
It's like, yeah, I know.
And then she makes this face of like,
why did she make that face?
I don't know. But that's where I wasn't sure if she was like, I didn't know what was happening, so I had to like bite my lip to not laugh at that moment.
It's like either she was trying not to like laugh, or that's her like, this is serious face. Like,
No! So that's why I was, because I think that she just didn't realize that she accidentally told my mom that someone had died in like a not very sympathetic way.
so she was
just
like, oh, mortified.
yeah, Dickie died.
Like, yeah, he's gone.
It's just like,
He's gone.
yeah, you already.
That's
you already
terrible.
mentioned
That's
that.
terrible. It's like, yeah, I know now. Thank you. Golly.
And then they just moved on with the conversation. Like, no one
Gosh.
but it was funny to me.
Oh
but I did hold back my laughter just
That's
because
good.
I wasn't sure how. Yes.
Appropriate it would have been in the
Yes.
yes. You can't really
And
tell.
I was sitting there, and my thought was like, I bet Kayla would understand. I need to tell Kayla.
Yeah, but I would have laughed. And it wouldn't have been good. My family, as my dad likes to say about like me and my siblings and my mom's family, were very uncouth.
You may have rubbed off on me a little bit, and I don't have the sentimental emotions to go along with it, so I'm just heartless.
See, well, uncouth just means like you just like uncultured, which yeah, fine.
Well, and laughing at inappropriate moments.
Yes,
but
like
then
at my
to
grandma's
not
funeral.
Also, yes, but then to also not have the emotions to back up to show like, oh no, I really do
Oh,
care.
yes. Yeah.
Like that's a problem.
That is a little bit of a problem. It's a little bit scary. I'm glad I know that you're not like have antisocial personality
and
disorder.
I didn't actually laugh, so
But it's a funny situation.
it was fun.
But my siblings and I all did laugh at my grandmother's funeral.
It happened.
We were crying at the same time, but that choir was bad. They were horrible. Anywho, what do you want to give Coco? What do you want to rate it out of?
Guitars,
That's
marigolds,
what I was gonna say. Guitar.
photo ofrendas, or photos on the ofrenda.
I don't want to talk about ofrendas.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna cry. I hate when
Guitars.
people die. Yeah, guitars. Unless they're like Hitler, and you can die as many times.
But then they were all together in the afterlife. You know.
But I don't know. Okay, but I don't know if that's it's
Okay,
like,
so guitars. I will give it 4 to 4.5 guitars.
what's with the range?
I'm very non-committal.
You gotta commit to something, friend.
Uh,
Remember me, so I have to say goodbye.
4.25.
Okay, that's it. You
Guitars.
commit it to something.
Mhm.
That's a little smart. I will give it 4 to 4.5. I'll give it. I'm sorry. I think I'll give it 4.5. No, I'm gonna give it 4 because some of the plot contrivances.
How about 4.25?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
See how that struggle was? You see
Okay.
why I give a range?
All right, eyebrows.
I don't like to commit.
I was strong and I was feeling good in my 4, but whatever, peer pressure has won out. It's good to listen to your elder sometimes.
I am older than you.
Yeah. 4.25 it is. What was your favorite song? One of the renditions of Remember Me. Here, I have the album pulled up.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Here. It has a lot of songs that are like extras.
yeah.
But I'm gonna say Remember Me when Miguel was singing. Well, he sang it so many times. I did like the one he and Hector sang at the talent show because it was more jovial.
Un poco loco?
Yeah, Un poco loco. That's not the right tune, but Un poco loco. What was the tune? Jeez, my brain broke.
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Though I have to say goodbye, remember me.
Yeah, I guess
and
that'll
give
have
me
to
cheese
be
and
my
pie.
favorite. Because I don't have a favorite, I might have to slide on down to a 4.
Ease on down the road.
Because I'm like, there's not one song that I'm like, oh yes, I
don't
want
think
to
this is
listen
I
to
don't think
this
it's a musical.
over and over again. Ooh. Okay, so if we're rating it on a musical scale, it slid on down to 3s. Oh no.
Oh.
As an overall
I
entertainment
should stop.
and good movie, I will give it at least a 4. But on a musical scale, it's not really a musical.
There's
So,
songs in it, but
yes.
it's not. I don't think it's a musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Selena.
I love Selena.
And it's not a musical, but there's a lot of music in it because,
Yes, because it's about
a musical
musician.
family. Yes.
Excuse me.
And I like the new trend that Disney is on by not having a bunch of romances.
Oh yeah, I
And
didn't even notice that.
Solid movies. Just a good movie. I don't have anything else to say, I don't think.
Okay. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Adios. See you in 2 weeks. Look, we're consistent now.
Woo! For
Who
3
knows?
podcasts
Hey.
at least.
Don't get used to us, babe. We're bad girls. We don't stick around. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Gets on motorcycle, vroom vroom, drives
I'm just
away.
really lazy. Like, I haven't even covered myself with a blanket
Do you
because
want
I'm too
help?
lazy to lean forward. No, I don't want to lean forward. I know how to do it.
I have more
But
blankets.
that looks like a lot of work to get up
I
there.
have a step stool.
No.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.